Hello everyone, my name's Nathan and welcome back to another game of Age of Empires 2 in which I will spectate and commentate for you guys, and we will watch these two guys battle it out to the death on Arabia. And today this game is a pretty darn special game because it features a strategy which I've never actually witnessed before. It's definitely very interesting, definitely very unique, and definitely very effective. And I will explain what's going to happen in a bit, but for now let's just introduce these two players. Down to the south, in red, playing as the Aztecs, we've got this guy, who apparently is called Solhas, but I haven't really heard of him before. I don't know who he is, but I've been told that these two guys aren't very, well, they're not pro, but they're not noob either, so, you know, it still can be pretty interesting to see how these two guys play. And he is against this guy, General Pi N, playing in green. Up to the north is the Koreans, and these two civilizations are very, very interesting indeed. It seems like this is fairly one-sided once again, because the Aztecs, probably one of the strongest civs in Arabia, and the Koreans kind of the weakest, really, to be honest. They're not really great. They're not really the best rushing civilization. I suppose the only rush they can really do is a tower rush, and that's not really so common, actually, to be honest. It's not very common that you see players going for a pure tower rush, and a tower rush is definitely going to be very, very risky indeed, because your economy at home is definitely going to be very, very unprotected, and especially because you've sent two villagers, maybe 2 or 3 villagers, to the front, and therefore you have less villagers to gather resources. But for the Aztec player, definitely going to be able to go for a rush. As you can see here, he's already got 4 villagers onto wood, which is always going to be a sign that he will be putting a barracks down very, very shortly. I suspect maybe in 3 minutes' time, and that's pretty viable for the Aztecs because they obviously don't need to research loom, and so they still get that 100 gold. As you can see here, he still got 100 gold. He's still got 100 gold, and he will be producing 5 militia from the barracks if he will be going to get a barracks out in the next few moments. And you know, you want to have a barracks by the time in like 2 minutes now. From this time, at about 6 minutes into the game, that's when you should do it. Otherwise, it will be too late, and if you do it too early, well, you just can't do it too early because you need to get that amount of wood, and also the amount of food, and, well, yeah, mainly food. That's all you need. And looks like, oh my god, green almost lost his, yeah, he almost lost his scout there. But it looks like he's going to steal these 2 sheep, 3 sheep in fact, and that's pretty good for him because that does mean that he will have an extra bonus in the amount of food he has. And this is definitely going to put red at the back foot because he will need to seed farms quicker than green. Obviously, since he doesn't have that 300 food with him, so that's kind of put him at a slight disadvantage, but not too much. It's not such a big deal. Not such a big deal, but it is still something. I have to say. Green now still got a ton of sheep here, and that's really good and all. But he's still got lots of idle villagers. Actually, I don't know why. His economy isn't looking so great. His eco sort of what's it called? His economy management isn't amazing. As you can see here, he just got these 2 sheep here lying to rot, which is always not very efficient. And there we go, that's the barracks down at almost 7 minutes, which is a bit late, I have to say. A bit late. It's not the end of the world, but, you know, if your opponent gets to the feudal wage before you can actually get your rush to their base, then that's not going to be so effective. Because it's probably very likely that they will be going for archers, and archers definitely counter militia, and that's the simple as that. The only problem is, well, there is no problem, but I think for the Koreans, the Korean player should definitely be going for archers. There isn't really anything else they would go for because their cavalry is pretty sucky, I have to say, and they don't really have anything else, really, to be honest, in the feudal age. They don't really have anything that's worth creating. Obviously, lacking lots of important upgrades and technologies on their cavalry. And I don't know why he's just rung the bell. Oh, I see. He just wanted to get all the food in. And a top tip for anyone who's watching out there: don't ring the bell, especially when you're not being attacked. And that's just because that when you ring your bell, all your villagers become idle, and they all start to go to the town centre, and that's not very efficient. If you do want to dump your food into the town centre, and then you just have to select the villagers with food, and then right-click on the town centre. But anyway, he is already up to the feudal age. And Red, what is Red doing? Well, he's just started to create a second militia. That's not very fast, I have to say, but I'm just going to speed things up just a little bit until we get to see this militia going out, because then the real deal starts. And, you know, we always love to see lots of action. And yeah, this is what I was talking about before. Since he lost those 3 sheep, he had to put down these farms a lot sooner than Red does, and Green even, because Green still only has the 1 farm right here, which is a good sign, and that's especially because he's still got these 3 extra sheep down here. Now Green is up to the feudal age. What's he going to put down? A stable. That's very, very interesting. That's exactly the opposite of what I would have done, because, you know, I wouldn't go with cavalry as the Koreans. It's as simple as that. Unless I were to go with hussars in the post-imperial age, I wouldn't go with any scout cavalry as the Koreans in the feudal age. Archers are definitely the way to go. And these militia are going to go across the map to do some sort of damage. Let's see what they're going to do, or be able to do. And 5 militia are probably going to be able to kill, definitely going to be able to kill some villagers, I have to say. And but no, he's going to get bumped. He's going to bump into 1 wolf here, possibly going to bump into another 2, and that's very, very interesting indeed. And he's also managed to find 2 more, so that's 5 wolves in total which he's managed to find. That is very interesting, because this is a strategy, my friends. This is known as the wolf rush thingy-majiggy, in which you send your militias to lure the wolves, and then using the militia, you take the wolves all the way to your enemy's base, and then you wreak havoc. Because you end up sending in both your militia and the wolves, and when your militia die, which is fairly unlikely, well, it is pretty likely, but, you know, 5 militia is going to do a hell of a lot of damage, especially with these 5 wolves here. So there's definitely a possibility for multiple villager deaths, I have to say. Going to be taking down quite a few villagers, and man, Green is completely... Green is like, what is going on? Oh my god. Oh, it's hilarious. 2 scouts gone down instantly, and another villager gone down as well. This villager will get completely destroyed. There we go, that villager gone down in an instant. He just got completely mauled there. That was quite hilarious to watch, I have to say. And Red is going up to the feudal age. Let's look at Green here. Green has got a bit too much wood, in my opinion. He definitely has a bit too much wood. He's doing the right thing though. He's managing to create some archers. This militia, and these militias will take down this builder, and that's not good for him because he won't be able to make. He won't be able to get another archer range, which is going to definitely put him behind in terms of his production. And 1 archer is not going to do a whole lot of damage, no matter how good your micro is. And Red's going to lure these guys back to him, probably going to send them back to Green's base and do some damage. Obviously, we've got this 6 even. What? Oh, sorry, yeah. 5, I can't even speak. 5 villagers here, and we've got 5, how many is that? 4 infantry, 5 infantry even, and some wolves as well. And looks like, I don't know, Red is probably going to lose all his militia. Actually, he's already managed to lose 2, and this guy is going to go down very, very quickly indeed. But he has managed to do a ton of damage. That's pretty insane. We've still got 3 wolves remaining and a militia as well. And you know, he still might be able to get another villager. Oh, no, I don't think so. Oh no, he's not going to do it. But yeah, there we go. That's the end of that wolf rush, and it seems like it was the end of the game as well. And because Green right there, Green just resigned. I don't really know why. Maybe it's just because that he just felt so dispirited because he's just lost so many villagers so quickly, and maybe he just felt humiliated as well because his opponent managed to successfully use the wolf rush against him. I don't know, but I definitely enjoy this, and it's definitely a very interesting strategy. I might try to implement this sometime in my gameplay, and no, I probably won't because I'm pretty sucky at playing. But you know, if you're pretty confident in your sort of skill and you want to try us out, then go and try this out. I hope that you will succeed in whatever you will do. And this is a pretty common strategy in Gold Rush as well, because you know, in Gold Rush you get so many villagers in the center. I mean, so many wolves in the center, and you can pick them up so easily. And you end up having like 20 wolves attacking your enemy's base. So that's pretty interesting. This was definitely a very unique strategy, and I really liked this. I really enjoyed commentating on this, and I hope you guys have actually enjoyed this video as well. And but that's all for me now. I will see you sometime in the future, but for now, see you next time.